Well, hello everyone. It's September 5th and it's Painting Live with Brenda on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque on Facebook. And tonight we're going to finish up our Woodland Animal box. And we'll be painting our little owl. So here he is. I'll have a little special little gift that I can put him in so you guys can see him while we're painting. So I have him base coated black, and we will start with, let's see if yet, I have Duncan OS 571 Curry, and we're going to dry brush that on our owl, and I'm just going to shake it up a little bit. And tonight we're at Courtney's house and Jason's filming instead of at my house because we packed boxes today. And they're all have been dropped off at the post office. And Courtney will be working on the tracking numbers because I don't think she had time to do that yet, and it takes a couple hours. So I have to turn him around so I can see him. So I just put a little bit of curry on my aluminum foil, and I use the aluminum foil because then I can just throw that out. And I just take my dry brush, and I have the Royal Inlay Nickel size 5 bristle dry brush. And I just go along my curry and then brush it out on my paper towel. And then we're going to start on one side of our owl and work all the way around and come back, and then by then this where we started will be dry. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm just going to brush back and forth. He's going to take a little bit more work than the raccoon and the fox because his texture is very smooth, but he can still be dry brushed. So again, I'm just going to grab some curry and brush it out and dry brush back and forth. And we're going to do him from head to toe with the curry. So grab a little curry and just keep dry brushing back and forth. If you have texture, you want to go across your texture, but he doesn't have a whole lot of texture, so we're just going to brush back and forth. No, he does have a little bit of texture here on his wings, but we're just going to keep going back and forth, and we'll let the darkness in the crevices. So grab a little curry and brush it out. So Courtney's got things hooked up. So we got Tammy with us tonight, Diana, Sue, and Carol. So hello everyone. We didn't know if we would have watchers tonight or not because we have a Packer football game. But I know not everyone's from Wisconsin, so they're not all going to, everyone is a Packer fan. So I'm just brushing back and forth, and we'll slowly build up our curry. A little at a time. You want lots of thin layers. And we'll just keep going around and around. And we'll also do his head. Just brushing back and forth. Grabbing a little curry and brushing it out. So it's been a long day today, so I stayed at Courtney's and Jason's because we boxed boxes. We started at 9 this morning. And we got to the post office 3:45, was it, Courtney? 3:45?
Yeah, your camera's shaking.
4:45. Is the post touching the table? Is that why, maybe? There? Courtney says the camera's shaking. So we have I'm at Courtney's, so we have a little different setup tonight. So she's watching on their tablet And she's telling me that the looks like the camera is shaking, so I'm not sure. So we might have to adjust things a little bit here as we're working tonight because we're in a different location. So I'm just brushing out our curry, getting a nice layer all the way around. Oh, we got a few more people. We got Elizabeth and Stephanie and Brenda Sperberg and Shirley. Welcome, you guys. Glad to see everyone's tuning in and watching. So we're just brushing away here. Lots of little thin layers. You can also do the C stroke or the comma stroke, like on his head part, because there's really very little texture on there. On the wings I was going across them, but we can do the C stroke on the head here. So we can't wait for you guys to get your new boxes, for everyone that ordered boxes for September. It's a Halloween theme. If anyone's interested and hasn't gotten a box, you can still message us and we could get some more out next week. It wouldn't be till next week though. So I'm just brushing away here. I hear a train. You guys have trains? Apparently, right? Yeah. So I'm just doing the C stroke. You can do it like a C or you can do it backwards. Either way, it works fine either way. I can't believe we already have the whole box painted and this is the last piece. The month went by so fast. Even this week went by fast from last week. It's like it was 2 days ago that we were just doing this and now here it is Thursday and we're painting already. So that's a little thick, so I gotta brush that out because we don't want that globbed on there like that. And last night I painted up one of the little cardinals as chickadees, and just for the fun of it, just to show you guys that you could, they didn't have to be cardinals, you could change them out. So I posted that on the feed. I don't know if a few people seen it that I know and they liked them, so it was just to show you that you can paint the same thing in different ways. I'm just going to keep going round and around. Grabbing a little curry and brushing it out. Just keep working it in. Is the bird in the middle of the screen, Courtney? Or looks pretty good, huh? So we'll just keep brushing away here.
I can't get it to zoom in. Your screen's not there.
But like, is the when you're looking at it, it looks like he's in the middle. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna grab a little more curry.
Yeah, let them know we're not gonna be able to zoom in.
Courtney can't get the camera to zoom in tonight, so I'm not sure what the problem is. So we're kind of as close as we can get tonight. So I'll apologize for not being able to get closer. We are hoping to get new camera equipment towards the new year.
Black Friday.
Black Friday, she thinks?
Hopefully Black Friday.
Hopefully Black Friday, she thinks. Oh, and I was going to ask her today, what are we thinking about doing something special for Black Friday? I know we talked about it at one time. Would you guys be interested in a Black Friday special? Let us know what you think about that. I don't know if you'd want bisque or paint or brushes, some kind of Black Friday special. Maybe let us know what you guys are thinking, and I got to talk to Courtney. I meant to talk to her about that today when we were packing boxes, but we were kind of too busy packing boxes. And we do have local pickup for anyone that's local too, and we make a price adjustment for the shipping, so just send us a message and Courtney can get back to you on that. The local pickups are not available on the 5th because I'm actually at Courtney's boxing. We do our boxing and shipping down here, but they would be available the next day for pickup in Shawano. I suppose someone could pick up down here in Appleton too, huh, if they wanted? Not really, she thinks, I bet. I said local pickup could actually be down here too, right?
Oh yeah.
Didn't even think of that till today. So we can.
Fox Valley.
Yeah, so I'm in Shawano and Courtney's in the Fox Valley, so we could have local pickup in the Fox Valley too, but it would be the day after the 5th, because on the 5th we're packing and actually shipping and going to the post office, so you'd have to get yours the following day, which would still probably be faster than the post office, or the same day. I know one of our ladies gets hers, she'll get hers tomorrow most likely. So we could have local pickup in the Fox Valley area and in Shawano if someone wants local pickup, and that would save you on shipping a little bit. So I didn't even think of that until I'm sitting here. So I'm just brushing out this curry and getting it nice, smooth, even layer. Little thin layers at a time. See, everyone that got the Flash Friday sale last week, your purchases are in your boxes and on the way as well. A couple ladies, you ordered bisque, and that's also extra bisque pieces. That's also in the boxes on their way.
Oh, Tammy, her birds are in the box.
Oh, and Tammy, your birds are in your box. I was able to get those completed in time, and we wrapped them up, and they're in your box on the way too. So you have them a little earlier than you expected and can work on them. So that was good. All kinds of stuff going on here. So I'm just building up the color. I'm actually looking at him and I wonder if it looks like I might have had the medium brown on there as well. So you can do these guys in different colors. I also did a gray one yesterday. He was really cute. They don't have to be the same color as what I'm doing them. You can do your pieces in any colors. I even did a little gray fox. He was really cute too. So I'm just going to keep brushing out this curry. So Courtney's Jason made this little box here for me so we can see our piece that we're working on. And then I could have a place to put my brushes instead of digging in the carousel trying to find them. So that's a little thick. I'm going to wipe that with my hand and brush out my brush a little more. We had a nice rain shower here about an hour ago.
It rained last time too.
Oh, Cordy says it rained the last time we had a show too. I don't know, the weeks go by so fast I can't remember everything.
When we dropped boxes off.
Oh, when we dropped, that's right, we went to the post office and we just beat the rain, and we just beat the rain today again. I hope that's not going to be a trend. So I'm just getting him a nice solid color here. Going across the feathers. I'm going to grab a little more. And we're already working on the next set of boxes. I have, about 1/4 of the pieces poured, which we have on the calendar to do we can probably do a sneak peek sooner, right, and then do the unboxing. So maybe about in a week we will do the sneak peek, which will be a picture of the bisque.
We're going to do the 15th and the unboxing on the 20th.
Oh, so the sneak peek is on the 15th? So she's saying that we'll do a sneak peek picture of the bisque around the 15th, give or take a day or two. And then around the 20th, give or take a day or two, we will do an unboxing video reveal of what's actually in the boxes. We kind of ran out of time doing our last, the Mr. and Mrs. Frankie. So now here I got my finger in all that paint and I got it globbed on there, so I need to try to get some of that off of there. And I'm just going to wet my finger and wipe it. And it's probably going to take more off than I want, but I'd rather start over than have that big glob on there. So here it is on my finger. That was the problem. So you do have to keep your fingers clean. So we'll let that spot dry and I'll just work around to the front and then come back around to the back. Not sure how I got that on there, but there it is. So that's how real live painting goes. It's not always pretty. Stuff happens. But you can fix it. And that's what we're here for, to show you how to paint things and fix things. And so I'm just going to keep building this up a little more. Move over here to the tablet and see what we got. Courtney's answering you guys' questions. Oh, and Courtney's checking on everyone with the storms as well. So I hope everyone's doing well.
We've heard from everybody.
And she says we've heard from everybody, so we're glad to hear that. Hopefully there aren't too many of them this year. So I'm just going to touch that back up. And we'll work back around a little bit. And build that up a little bit more yet. And our next color will help cover that glob up that I made as well. So you can see it's almost done. I'm gonna brush that out. That was a little too much. So is everyone keeping their little woodland animals, or are you giving them as gifts? Everyone ready for fall? Our temperature kind of made a drastic change. We're back into the 70s already. And when I drove down here, I could see that the trees are starting to change colors this morning. Which means I need to get the net over my pond to keep all those leaves out of there. And getting in there and settling on the bottom and decaying. So he's looking pretty good, and now I'm going to switch to, I'm going to add in some medium brown on top of this, get them a little bit browner like this one. So this is just the Duncan OS 471 medium brown. And I'm just going to grab a little bit alongside of the pile and work it up in my brush and then brush it out on my paper. And then I'm just going to brush it onto him. Grab a little more and brush it out. Just get him a little bit browner than so orangey. Have a nice gradual color changes. Grab a little and brush it out. So is everyone's kids back in school that have kids? Or any of you that have kids, are your kids showing any interest in painting at all? We did go to the county fair on Sunday to see all my 4-H students' projects, and they all had blue ribbons, so that was really nice. They all did a great job. Just grabbing that medium brown and brushing it out. One of the mushrooms was picked to go to state, so the state fair next year, so that's pretty cool. So it should be fun to see what the kids want to make for next year. We do have more mushrooms again. They did stepping stones and mushrooms with stained glass on them. I'm just getting a nice little layer of the medium brown on here. Just a little bit at a time. Going across the texture of the feathers. Grab a little bit and brush it out. So we're working on making some kids projects boxes. Courtney found a few cute little things to put in those boxes besides be some bisques, some brushes, little aprons, right? What else? Paint. The little palette that you can put the paint in for them. Little water dish. I have picked out a mermaid and a unicorn that I think the girls will probably like. Let me see, a frog for the boys and a truck. We have a spider, but I'm kind of worried that his little legs might all get broken shipping because he's got 8 little legs, so I'm not sure about that one yet. Probably some pumpkins for the fall season. I'm just grabbing the medium brown and brushing it out. And you can go back and forth, or you can do the C stroke. And just work that medium brown in. So tonight I get to drive in the dark instead of Courtney driving in the dark. But I thought as long as we were here packing boxes, there's no sense in both of us trying to rush back to Shawano to record, so we're going to try it here tonight. We chase Jason back outside. You know. Oh, and my sister was a big help today. We probably wouldn't have got done by 4 without her, most definitely. We We might be dragging her in every 5th of the month now. She don't know what she got herself into.
None of us do.
Courtney says none of us do. Oh boy. It's definitely been growing and a learning experience, but it's been fun. Just building up this medium brown. Even though it was base coated with the black, you end up covering a lot of it up. You just want it in your crevices for your shadows. Oh, and that's way too much.
Can you use a different color to base coat?
Courtney asked if you can use different colors to base coat. Sure. Probably want more of a dark color, because that's the color that's in the deepest part of your piece. So black is very popular. A dark brown, like this owl could have been done with a dark, really dark brown, like a saddle brown, not a saddle brown, a chocolate fudge or a walnut. And a lot of times for like the snowmen, I like to use like a dark navy blue. So you can definitely use other colors. Another color that I'll use is purples. Purples on snowmen and on penguins. I mean, I really wouldn't use a purple on an owl like this unless I was painting him maybe in the grays. So it kind of depends upon your piece, what your base coating color would probably be.
Can you tell them what colors you used again?
What colors I'm using tonight? So tonight I started with the Duncan OS 571 Curry. And now I have the Duncan OS 471 medium brown. So your base coating kind of depends what you want your final piece to look like, because that's going to be like the color hue that's going to come through your colors. So like a dark gray would probably be another one that would work for your wildlife. The black is good for wildlife and animals. A really dark brown is good for wildlife and animals. Blues and purples are good for snowmen. If you're doing Easter pieces, you could possibly be using a deep purple. If you're going to be doing a lot of the lavender colors, purple colors on it. Okay, so I got him looking pretty good with his medium brown on him. Maybe I'll get in his eyes here just a little more. Maybe a little more up on top because I can see a lot of the black through there yet. So yep, you can use other base coating colors, but like black and dark brown are probably the two most popular ones, I would say. Okay, so we got him done with that. So now we're going to switch to the some light brown. I have the Duncan OS 467 light brown. And for the light brown, we're just going to go on his belly, a little bit on each wing, and up on his horns and in his eyes. Fold my paper towel over here. And just grab a little bit and brush it out. And then we'll brush back and forth on his belly here. I mean, a lot of paint colors and painting is probably more personal preference than anything. Nothing's written in stone that you have to base coat in black, or you have to paint a piece out and not dry brush it, or things are open for different options. So we're getting the light brown on his belly. And then we'll do a little bit on the wings and just a little bit on the wings there. Just to give them a highlight. Grab a little more and brush it out. So that was kind of why I posted the picture of the little birds last night, because instead of painting these guys as cardinals, I painted them as chickadees, just to show you that you don't have to paint them as cardinals. You can really do whatever you want, whatever vision you have. They could be little bluebirds, they could be little chickadee, or not chickadees, finches. You just have to change the colors out and paint away. So get a little, oh, that's a little more than I wanted, but it looks okay. We'll leave it there. And get a little more on the tips of these wings. I'm just going across the texture just to grab a little bit of the white on there. So I'm going to grab a little more. And we're going to go in his little eyes here. I'm just grabbing the light brown and brushing it out. I'm just going in his little eye circles. I'm just building it up so it's a little bit lighter than the rest of him, so they stand out more. A little more on the belly. Can't believe it's September already. It's Courtney's birthday this month. She can't believe how old she's getting either. She lost a year or two apparently.
And I will forever.
She says she will forever. So I'm just getting a little bit of that light brown on his little ears or his little horns, whatever you want to call them. Was it 1 year or 2 years?
Could be 3 or 4.
Oh, she says 3 or 4 she lost. Oh, that happens to us, don't it?
It needs a calculator.
If only we could bring him back, huh? So you can get his little ears as light as you want them. Kind of want them even. And you got to keep turning them around so you can see them. But they look the same. Okay, so now we're going to grab a little bit of let's see, what did I use? I think we'll go to some white. And I just have some white acrylic stain paint. I'm just going to grab a little and brush it out. And then I'm going to go on his little, like his little chest here on top, and then in his eyes, and then a little bit on his horns again. So we'll start here. And I'm using the same brush because then you get So that wasn't such a stark white, it was just a lighter of the light brown. Just brush back and forth, and then we're just going to do these little circle swirls, or you can do half C's, or you just want to bring that eye color out. Brush it out. And we'll get just a little bit up here on his horns, his ears. I always want to call them horns, but I think they're ears. I've only seen 1 or 2 owls, I think, in my entire life. One was a barn owl when I was on a farm growing up. I guess I'm not a night person though, so that's probably why I don't see them. I'm just lightening up his little horns, and I'm going to do just a little bit right on the center here. A little bit on the center there, and a little bit on the center here. Have you ever seen an owl, Courtney?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Oh, Courtney says she's seen an owl.
And the eagle.
Oh, we have lots of eagles here.
Up close.
Oh, up close, she says. She's seen an eagle. Courtney says she's seen an eagle up close. How close?
It came out in front of my car.
Oh, it came in front of the car. Huge, she says. Probably could have taken the little blue devil and swept away with it, huh?
I told him the blue devil.
Jason calls her car the blue devil because it gives him grief. So I'm going to get just a little bit right on the, like right down the center here. But not too much because I want the little chest part here to be more. So that looks pretty good. Maybe just a little more on here. A little more in here. So now we kind of forgot about his little log that he's sitting on. So we had saddle brown in our box. It was OS 489 saddle brown. So we're gonna dry brush our rock, not our rock, our log with that. So I'm just using the same brush. I'm going to work it into the color into my brush. Just go alongside your brown and grab it and brush it out so you don't have a whole lot of paint in there. And now our log texture is going this way, so we're going to go across it. And it's okay if you get some on his little feet. And I'm doing the log before the feet because the feet are higher than the log. The log is down lower, so that's why I'm starting with the log first. If I did the feet first and I come back to do the log, I'd probably have the log color on the feet. So we're just going to go across our texture. We're going to come right around down and go underneath. You always want to do your bottoms. That's a little too heavy. I'm just going to work that around the whole bottom. Do your whole log, including the end, but we will lighten the end up so it looks like the center part of the wood. And you want to bring your saddle brown right up to your owl. Grab a little and brush it out. And you can leave as much or little black left on your log as you want. Just brush back and forth. Bring it down around the bottom so your bottoms look finished. Come over to the other side and just keep brushing back and forth.
commented that the Bears are on TV, she can't watch you.
Oh, we have a Chicago fan playing against our Bears, or our Packers.
She'll watch the replay.
That's okay. That's the fun part of having the replay. Now you can go back in whenever it's convenient for you. You don't have to watch it just when it's on live because the videos are saved. And you can watch your favorite team. So I'm just going back and forth. Hopefully the Packers win though, I guess. I usually don't have time for football. Or TV in general, I should say. It probably hasn't been turned on since Christmas, if you want to know the truth. So I'm just brushing back and forth. Whoop, and there's a little too much. I'm going to wipe that off. Brush that brush out some more. I'm just going back and forth. Keep turning it and getting all angles of it. You want your whole log a nice even amount of brown and black, whatever. If you want a lot of black, just so the whole thing has a lot of black. Or if you want a little bit of black, so the whole thing has a little bit of black. It's whatever your preference is. So I probably have it as 2/3 brown and 1/3 black. So I should have a craft show coming up. I should paint some of these up for the craft show. They probably go over really well. We're going to take some of our Bisque boxes to our craft shows to see how that goes. And we're going to work on making some, I'm actually pouring and cleaning and firing a couple pieces of Bisque to do some more videos on that you can watch at any time. And if you wanted the Bisque, then I want to have the Bisque available to purchase when we release those videos, so maybe in another couple weeks those will be ready. Our harvest pumpkin mold should be dry here in the next day or two.
You're going to redo that video.
But Cordy says we're going to redo the video itself because that was our first video. But then that Bisque, there should be Bisque available like in another 21 to 30 days on our Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com page. So Cordy says it's probably greater than the 1 cubic foot to ship, so the shipping may be expensive on it. So I have that pretty much how I want it. So now we're going to add a little bit of, let's see, what color are we going to use? I think the light brown. I'm going to use the Duncan OS 467 light brown and go in my little, where the actual cut wood is, because that would be lighter. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of that and brush it out. Grab a little more. I'm just going to lightly go in these areas where the wood is cut. And you just gently and lightly touch it and get it in there. You could switch to a smaller brush too if you wanted, like a 3 or that 0. And we're just going to work this in here a little bit, lighten that up. And the tip of this one. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of white, dip it in that brush and brush it out. And we're going to come back and just touch it a little more. Because that brown is in there, it's not like stark white, so it actually kind of gives you the color of the wood, But yet it's lighter than the light brown. Grab a little more and brush it out. We'll get a little more on him. Okay. I think I want it just a little more. There we go. So now I think I'm actually going to switch to a different little brush here because we're going to do his little feet. Now I have my Royal and Langnickel size 3 bristle brush. And I'm going to grab the Curry, the OS571 Curry, and we're going to do his tail, or not his tail, his beak and his feet. And it won't take much, I just took a drop. Just going to dab in there and brush it out. Oh, and this was one of the brushes that is in your box today, the size 3. And what's the other one? This is a round
8
and an 8 flat. So subscribers are getting this brush free as your extra, along with an 8 flat. So that was the brushes for this month. So now I'm going to go across his little, actually his little feet have texture going this way, so I need to go up and down in that little space. So that's why I got this littler brush. And you could even maybe go with the 0 that you got last month. And we're also going to get it built up on his little beak here. Just grab a little more and brush it out. And then go back to his feet. Oh, and we forgot to show you guys brushes last week. We have the Mermaid Brushes. Forgot all about it until Courtney was already out the door and gone. But we did get the Mermaid Brushes in. We have it was posted in the sale, but in case you didn't look at the sale, we did have them, and she's grabbing them so I can show you guys. So we have 5 packages left. And what do you got? So this is the Mermaid Brushes. You get a round 3, 5, 7, and 10. So hopefully you can see them. And how much are they?
Sale price is $9.99 inside of a Bisque box.
And you can, we'll still honor the sale price for $7.99.
No, $9.99.
$9.99. Sorry, wrong, error. The price is $9.99. And if you would get them in next month's Bisque box, they could ship free. The Bisque box will cover the shipping on them. So they're $9.99 for this set of brushes. And you could just message us, and then Courtney will put them aside, and they can ship them on the 5th of October.
And $3.99 for shipping.
And if you'd want them right away, then shipping is $3.99. She could ship just these to you for $9.99 plus $3.99 for shipping. And you can just message us. We have 5 sets. So we have 5 sets of these yet, but they're really popular. They're okay brushes. They're not like the best brush out there, like the Silver Falcon, but they're a nice little brush, and people do like them. They're a hot item right now. So that's the Mermaid Brushes. They have looks like little mermaid scales on the handles, so that's why they're called Mermaid Brushes. So we do have 5 sets of those yet.
There's one of your Silver Falcons left.
And we have one of the Silver Falcon liner that we got at this show. She's looking for it now. She thinks it might be gone too. That was a special buy at the ceramic show that we went to 2 weeks ago today.
Yeah.
So this is our these are the super brushes, great brushes. It's a Silver Falcon Onyx 5.0 liner. It's got a really nice point on it. It's great for eyelashes and eyes and any fine detail. So this is the last one. It's $14.99 and can ship inside your Bisque box.
Or an extra $3.99 to ship it.
Or $14.99 plus $3.99 for shipping if you didn't want to wait and aren't a subscriber, Bisque box subscriber. But otherwise, it could go inside your Bisque box on October 5th if you wanted it. But it is the last one, and we probably won't have any
I can't get on
until we get to the show again next year if the gentleman is there. We do have his number, but we haven't been able to get a hold of him, so I'm not sure what the situation is there. But those were, and they were a special price at the show also, so you probably never get them that cheap again. But that's my all-time favorite brush right there. So I'm just grabbing that Curry, and we're still gonna build up the color on his little beak and his feet here. Just get a drop of it yet. Just trying to think of things. All kinds of things going on. We have to get slip. I'm literally down to half a pail of slip. So that's my next to-do thing. So I'm just building up our curry on our feet and on our beak. You could probably use rust as well, would be another good color. Or maybe even the mustard if you have mustard. So there we go, we got that about where I want it. And I'm going to put that aside, and now we can, let me see, we're down to his eyes. So we're going to use a little bit of black. And I need I got a liner brush in here. So, and this is actually another Silver Falcon. I've had this one for years. It's a 10-0. It's just another nice little brush, liner brush. So now I'm going to paint out his little black eyes. Actually, let's see, I got to look at him. Well, we're going to start with white. Sorry, I'm going to wash that out. So I did bring my, this is our brush cleaning pad. It's Harold's Easy Brush Cleaner. It was in our July box. And you can put this in the bottom of your water container and then brush your brush back and forth on it, and that'll clean it right up to the ferrule. You'll have a nice clean brush, or you can lay this in the bottom of the sink and let your water run onto it and then brush your brush back and forth. You want to make sure you're cleaning out your brushes really well. So I'm going to switch back over to white, because we're going to do the white first on this one. And I'm only going to do the bottom half of the eye in the white, probably from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, because then the black will be over the top of that. And it's a little thick, so I'm going to grab just a little bit of water and work it in there. And then I'm just brushing it out so it's nice and smooth. And we're going to do the other eye. What are we doing on time, Courtney?
7:55.
Oh, 7:55. That should be good. Try to keep these around an hour and a half, probably at the most. So we have our white on there, so I'm going to wash that out. And now I'm going to switch over to my black. And I like to take my brush, my liner brush, and drag it through that paint and turn it a quarter turn towards the right between my fingers, and then pull it towards me, and that'll put a nice point on that brush as you're loading it up with that black paint. And now you want to make sure that that white is dry, and we're going to do the black part. So that looks pretty good. So I'm going to start at about 11 o'clock and then come down into the white and leave as much white as I want and then go back up to like 2 o'clock. And I'm not sure if I can do it all in one swipe here or not. And then I want to brush that out so that's not a ridge there. And then I'm going to start in the black and work down towards the white. And just merge that back together where I left off. And then brush it. And again, I'm anchoring my hand on the table, and I got my owl anchored in my hand. And I'm also anchoring my painting hand onto my owl so that everything is solid and not moving to get those nice straight lines. And then you want to just turn it and look at it. And I need to come up just a little bit more, I think, on that black. And now I came down into my white, but I'm just going to leave that, let that dry. And then we'll see what this one looks like, and we'll match the two of them up. So I'm going to try to leave about the same amount of white on this one as what I did on the other one. Oh, Courtney's yawning over there. So they're pretty even except for where I went into the white with my black on the other side, so I'm just gonna touch up the other one. Well, I'm gonna look at them first and then compare them. And I think I'm just gonna touch this one up instead of bringing the black down further, so I'm gonna wash out my brush. That white is dry, so I'm just going to grab some new white. And again, I'm dragging it through the paint, making a 1/4 to 1/2 inch turn, and that's getting that point on there for me. So now we're going to try to touch this up. And it's a little thick, so I'm just going to grab a little water and work that into my white so it's a little bit thinner, maybe like ink. Okay, so I'm going to wash my brush out. And I'm actually going to come back with my black again because I don't like the line. It's a little crooked here yet. So eyes take a little extra work there. You're just not bam and you're done.
You owe them an eye video.
What?
You owe them an eye video.
Courtney says I owe you guys an eye video. I think she's probably right. I'll have to look at something that has nice big eyes on it and pour it and then we can do a better eye video, because with these little ones it's probably hard to see. Okay, so he looks okay. I'm gonna grab a little white here again, and now I need this thin like ink, because we're gonna do the little C strokes in the eye, and I'm just dragging it through that white and twirling it into a point. And when you're doing your highlights in your eye, you want them both on the left side or both on the right side. So I usually put both on the right side. So we're just gonna, and I'll push it down and pull down and lift it up as I'm doing that, so it gets more to a point. So it's wider at the top and skinnier at the bottom. And my brush wanted to split there on me. And that's not what I wanted. We'll just adjust. Some days eyes go well, some days they just go south. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to come back with the black and give them some better shape, because they're way, I don't like them that wide. And I'll just start at the bottom and then drag up towards the top to narrow that bottom out. So that's a lot better. Yeah. Yeah. We can do an eye video. I'll think about what I'm gonna do, and maybe we can even come up with like a worksheet. So the bottoms are looking pretty good of those eyes, but I don't like the top yet, so I'm gonna see if I can adjust that a little more. This one's very thin at the top, and I don't want it so thin at the top, so I want it a little thicker. Well, it's a little better. Maybe a little thicker on this one. So then you want to look at them to make sure they're fairly equal. See a little white line going into the black over here, so I'm going to touch that up. So I got new glasses earlier this year, but I'm not all that happy with them as far as painting, being able to paint. The other ones I could find the sweet spot, so to speak, but these just don't seem to have it. If anything, I end up with double lines, which makes it really hard. So that's okay there. So now I'm going to grab, I have a ball styluses that I like to use for the dots, or you can use the end of I just tipped over all my paint, end of a skinny paintbrush, and I don't know if I have that one with me. Let's see here. If you have a paintbrush that has a handle with a point on it, that works really well for doing dots too. You could also use a toothpick, like a round toothpick. I used these last time, and it's just ball styluses that come in different sizes. we're going to see if we can get those, and then we'll have them on our page. So I'm going to use, so they're just a little metal with a little ball end on them, and that's why they're called a ball stylus, and they come in different, there's different sizes in that package, so depending upon how big you want your dot, you just dip it in your paint, and then you can dip it at the top of that eye, and it just gives you a really nice round dot. And actually, I think I want it a little bigger than that, so we'll go to a bigger one. And we're going to get a little more paint. We only need a drop. So I think we'll go to this end, and I'm just dipping it in the paint, and then I'm going to dip it at the, just touch it at the top of my comma stroke, just to give him, it gives it a real nice round circle. It's a lot easier than trying to paint it with the brush. So there he's got two nice little dots. So I'm going to go back to that little one and put the little dot in the very corner of his eye. This one actually has X's in it, but I'm not going to put X's tonight because the glasses don't seem to be cooperating quite as enough. So there he's got his little dots in each eye. So he's a little darker than this guy, but we can lighten him up. Let's see, what should we do? I think we'll go with a little more white. And I'm just a little bit lighter. I'm just going to grab a little bit of white and brush it out. Put a little more on his little chest here. So see, you can go back and adjust things even when they're, you think you're done and you're maybe not quite liking something. You want to change it a little bit. Going around the, I'm just going to go around the outer edge of his eyes, but we got to be really careful in case that's not dry enough yet. Just get him a little lighter. And then you want to look at him. So there he is. He's a little bit lighter. So then you would take your sealer and shake it up a little bit. And I'm not going to spray here because I don't want to smell Courtney's house up for her. And I usually like to stick them on a brush. And then you can stick your finger up in there too to kind of control him. And then you would just make sure you spray your bottom. Just go back and forth, left to right, top to bottom. And then give it a little spin, bottom, back and forth, top to bottom until then he would be sealed. And you would just wait just a couple, maybe 2-3 minutes, and he would be sealed. And then you can take your raffia and just put it around his neck and just tie a little bow like you would tying a shoestring. And if you don't have a numb index finger like I have, it probably goes a lot easier. You can make your little bow as big or little as you want. And my cat likes this, so he actually grabbed the raccoon by the raffia and took off down the hallway with him. So then you got your little raffia bow, and you have your little raccoon, or raccoon owl, and there he is. So then you have your wood bases that you can set them on. And you would just sit on it like that. So we're done with our August set. we had our raccoon, our owl, our fox, and our little cardinals. So we actually have this whole set painted already. And now today we shipped out our next month's, our September boxes. So you should be getting them in the next 2 to 3 days.
East Coast might be a little.
Cordy says the East Coast might take a little bit longer. We do have one box that we're holding till Monday for a lady because of the weather. Once you get your tracking number, you can check and see where it's at if you're wondering. So the bisque you get will be for Mrs. Frankenstein, Frankie, and then we got three crows. So you'll also get 3 crows, bisque and 3 crows in your box, and that's what we'll be working on now for September. So if you would like, you can base coat all of your pieces in black, and that's where we will start next week. Let's see, do we want to start with the crows or one of the Frankies? What do you think, Gordy? Crows or Frankies? You pick.
Frankie.
Cordy says Frankie, so we'll start with Frankie next week.
No, ladies first.
Ladies first? Oh, sorry, she says ladies first. Okay, so we may not get all of her done next week, but we'll get started on her. But you can base coat all pieces in black, but definitely do Mrs. in the black, because that's who we'll start with next Thursday.
These are the brushes.
And these are the brushes that are coming in your box. It's our 3 round and our 8 flat. So that's also in your box. What else? There's glitter in your box. Glitter for the silver glitter, the purple glitter, and some green glitter. And then you'll have your inventory sheet. And then you'll also have the color flyers in your box. And then there's also a little trick-or-treat bag in there with some more little goodies in there. So that's our September box, and that's shipped out today. Local pickups, I will message you when I get home, or probably tomorrow morning, because it'll be late when I get home. We can do pickup tomorrow after 4:30 at my house. If you would still like to get a box, you can send us a message. We'll get you a box. It wouldn't go out until Monday or Tuesday of next week at the very earliest. Maybe, let's say Wednesday. Because I have to get more crows poured. Otherwise, the boxes are ready to go. Other than the crows. So if you would like to join in,
And then we're going to do pre-orders on sprays.
just send us a message if you still want a September box. We can still ship it out. We're also going to send out an email, Courtney's going to do a post for sealer, that we can add on sealer to the boxes for October. It'll be, you can have a choice between matte, satin, or gloss. I would say the most popular would be the matte and the satin. I don't know that you'd use gloss very often. The special will probably be
$9.99 and then the free shipping inside your box.
$9.99
2 cans.
$9.99 a can, and you can get up to 2 cans shipped in your Bisque box, and then we'll cover the cost of the shipping. But they will not be coming priority mail. They'll have to come ground because this is flammable and it can't go priority mail. So your whole box, your whole subscription box will come ground instead of priority. But you should still have it in a reasonable amount. It's just going to take a couple days longer than the priority mail. So when she posts that, we're going to take a pre-sign-up list. So put your name, and if you want matte, satin, or gloss, so when we order, we can make sure that we order enough. So they'll be $9.99 a can. You can have 2 cans in your subscription box. Your subscription box will come by ground instead of priority, but you'll have free shipping on it then on us as part of this box. So she'll be posting that in the next week.
It's the best price. Usually it's $10 a can to ship it.
So she says if we were to ship this separate, it's going to cost $10 a can to ship it because because they weigh over a pound, and shipping has really gone up since June. So if you want sealer, the best deal is to get it shipped in your Bisque box. So that's what we're going to do, but we'll need you to let us know if you want to pre-order, so to speak, so we can get a can count, so we order enough, and we can get them in time for the October boxes. So she'll be doing that in the next week, and then just watch for that post. And if you want 1 can or 2 can, just put your name. If you want matte, satin, or gloss. The matte is currently what used to be porcelain, and that has a very flat finish to it.
You'll do a video that shows it.
And we're actually going to do a video, I don't know when, in the next few days. I'm going to take some pumpkins, and 3 pumpkins. I'm going to seal one with matte, one with satin, and one with gloss, so you can see the difference. But the current matte is the previous porcelain, so if that's what you're used to, which is what I usually use on all the wildlife, because it doesn't have a shine to it. It just looks more natural.
I had a question. I can't ship that sealer to Canada.
And we can't not ship this to Canada.
No.
So it's flammable.
It's illegal to cross the...
Yeah, she says it's illegal to cross the borders, so we can't ship it to Canada. Yeah, she says it'll get flagged at customs, so we cannot ship it to Canada. It's just for the stateside.
But they can probably get something at a big box store.
You could go like to the big box store, or like your hardware stores, and go to the paint department, and where the spray paints are, you should be able to find an acrylic sealer, non-yellowing sealer. If you don't have access to the ceramic sealers. That is about all I can think of for this week. We're checking to see if anyone had any questions.
Paul wants to know how many new paints for October. It's looking like 3.
Paul is wondering on how many paints for the new box for October. I think it's only 3. I need to finish painting them.
If it is 3, it'll be 3 for $9.99.
So I'll be doing that this weekend. So it will be, it should just be 3, and that'll be $9.99 then for those 3 paints. But like I said, I do have to finish painting them. It's fall related. It's a boy scarecrow, a girl scarecrow, a crow, and a pumpkin. And the crow is actually an extra piece that we're including. And you could actually use this month's crows would go with it as well. So I do have the girl, this is the girl scarecrow, and then there's also a boy scarecrow to go with it. And this pumpkin is your bisque pieces. So there's a boy scarecrow, but I grabbed 2 girls instead of a boy.
This is part of their extras.
And then as part of an extra is this little bisque scarecrow, but there's also another extra besides your brushes. So it's very fall themed. I'm painting them in a greens, and I'm deciding if it's going to be in blues or rust. So I'll decide that this weekend when I paint it. I'm thinking that it's going to be the blue. She'll probably have a little bit of pink on her too. So that's your bisque, and Courtney will be doing a picture like in a week, and then we'll do the unboxing around the 15th. So
the Canada lady, I can ship the bisque, but it's going to be expensive. Probably 30s to 40s.
So Courtney says we can ship the bisque to Canada, but the shipping is going to cost more. It could be around the $30 to $40 range.
Our boxes are heavier.
The boxes are 4 to 5 pounds with everything in them. We do have a lady that's in Canada that has someone, a friend in New York, and we actually ship to New York, and then she picks it up from her friend in New York. So if you have someone close enough, if that works for you, that's an idea. So I think that's about it. We've had a really busy, long day today, so if I seem tired, I'm sorry. But we've been at it. I've been up since 6 and shipping boxes out and now painting, but we didn't want to cancel because we want to be here on Thursday nights, because we said we're going to be here on Thursday nights, so I hope it went okay. If you have questions, post it on the feed, or you can message us. Have a good week. Base coat your Mrs. Frankie for black for next Thursday, and we'll be painting next Thursday at 7 Central. Have a great week, you guys, and stay safe. Anyone on the East Coast in Florida, thank you.